so next we're going to look at problem number 2. And again, we're calculating the mean, median, and mode for each set of numbers. Okay, this time my initial set of numbers is -2 plus the square root of 7, square root of 7, 3 plus the square root of 7, -4 plus the square root of 7, 5 plus the square root of 7, 3 plus the square root of 7. So the first thing I did was put my numbers in increasing order. So the smallest is -4 plus the square root of 7, and the largest is 5 plus the square root of 7. And the mode, the number that occurs the most often, I can see that there are 2 numbers that are the same. That's 3 plus the square root of 7. So that's the number that occurs the most frequently. That's the mode. To find the mean, I needed to add up my numbers, and because there's 6 numbers, I divided by 6. So when you're adding these, you can add the -4 and the -2 and the 3 and the 3 and the 5. Okay? And -4 and -2 makes -6. 3 and 3 makes +6. So those cancel out, and you just end up with 5. And then add the square root of 7 and the square root of 7, and a third square root of 7, and a fourth square root of 7, and a fifth square root of 7, and a sixth square root of 7. So there are 6 square roots of 7. And then, remember, we're dividing by 6, so we get 5, 6, plus, and then we have 6 square roots of 7 divided by 6. That just reduces down to the square root of 7. And then to find the median, well, we're looking for the middle number, so we can get rid of the smallest number and the biggest number and the smallest number, or the second smallest and the second biggest, and I see that I have 2 middle numbers. So I need to add those 2 middle numbers together and divide by 2. And since I have a square root of 7 plus a square root of 7, that gives me 2 square roots of 7. So I have 3 plus 2 square roots of 7 divided by 2. 3 divided by 2 gives me 1.5. 2 square root of 7 divided by 2 just gives me square root of 7. Any questions? Part B, our set of numbers is -2 pi, 4 pi, 0, 6 pi, 10 pi, and 4 pi. So I started by putting them in increasing order, and I noticed that there were 2 that were the same, and so the number that occurs the most often is 4 pi. To find the mean, I needed to add up all the numbers. So I'm adding -2 pi plus 0, that's just -2 pi. -2 pi plus 4 pi gives me 2 pi. 2 pi plus 4 pi makes 6 pi. 6 pi plus 6 gives me 12 pi, and 12 pi plus 10 pi gives me 22 pi. So I have 22 pi. There are 6 numbers, so I divide by 6. I started by reducing, and so I have 22 pi over 6, which reduces down to 11 pi over 3. There should not be a square root of 7. That's just carried over from the previous example because I copied and pasted. I love you too, buddy, but I'm working right now. Well, you need to ask Natalia. Okay, so we've got the mean. All right, we've got the mean. And now we need to look for the median. And
So cute.
Thank you. We're going to get rid of the smallest number and the biggest number, the second smallest and the second biggest. So we've got 2 middle numbers, and so we're going to add them together and divide by 2. But if your 2 numbers are the same number, when you add and divide by 2, you just get that number. Is that okay? Any questions? Okay, so that was part B. Now for part C, we've got numbers 7.37, 5.37, and so on. I started by listing them in increasing order, and I noticed that we've got 2. So that gives me my mode. To find the mean, I needed to add up my numbers, and there are 6 of them, so I divide by 6. So I came up with 39.2 divided by 6, which gives me 6.536 repeating. To find the median, I'm looking for my middle, so I can get rid of my smallest and my biggest, second smallest, second biggest, and I see there are 2 middle numbers. That's the third number and the fourth number. So I add them together and divide by 2. And when I did that, I came up with 6.37. Sound okay? All right. And then number 3.